Judge Clark has served in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas since her appointment in March of 1999. Currently, she is the administrative judge of the Family Division in Allegheny County. Prior to this position, Judge Clark served as the supervising judge of the Family Division's Juvenile Court. In her capacity as a juvenile and family court judge, Judge Clark has been appointed to a variety of committees and boards relevant to today's discussion, including Pennsylvania's Domestic Relations Rules Committee, the Pennsylvania Juvenile Court Judges Commission, and the Governor's Commission on Children and Families. In addition, Judge Clark recently ended her term as president of the Allegheny County Bar Association, where she was the first African-American woman to serve as president. Prior to serving on the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas, Judge Clark was an assistant and deputy district attorney in Allegheny County for almost 16 years. While in the district attorney's office, Judge Clark headed the Crimes Persons Unit, which handled all of the sexual assault and child abuse cases in Allegheny County. As an assistant and deputy district attorney, Judge Clark tried over 150 jury trials, including the first gang-related and drive-by shooting homicide cases in Allegheny County. Judge Clark is a frequent lecturer, speaker, and panelist on the subjects of child abuse, sexual assault prosecution, and juvenile law. She has clearly the wealth of experience to address this committee today, and I am pleased that she has taken time from her job to join us today.
Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to testify before you today. And I'm pleased to have the opportunity to comment on the proposed reauthorization of the JJDP Act and continuation of OJJDP. And I'm here on behalf of the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, and the National Council supports the reauthorization of JJDPA and the continuation of OJJDP. I was specifically asked to talk to you today about what I can and cannot do as a judge in Pennsylvania to help children and families, to describe what continuing education is like for judges, to describe what alternatives there are to incarceration of juvenile offenders in Pennsylvania and how often I feel free to refer youth to these programs, what preventative measures I recommend to help prevent youth from entering my courtroom, and the challenges that judges like me continue to face every day. This is difficult to do in 5 minutes. I would like to begin with this thought to help put things in perspective, and this goes to how most of society, I think, feels about juvenile and family court. There have been times when I've encountered a person, and upon discovering that I'm a juvenile court judge, they make a comment to me like, "Oh, it's so awful that you have to work with all those bad kids and all of those bad parents." And statements such as this couldn't be more wrong. And I acknowledge that there are some bad kids probably and some bad parents, but they represent a very small fraction of the cases that judges see. What I mostly encounter are kids and parents in bad situations, and I mention this because when we talk about delinquency, we can't talk about delinquency without talking about dependency and custody and protection from abuse and all of those things. And I always say that we define and label our kids by how they first enter our courthouse, whether they come in through the child welfare system or the juvenile justice system. I see people that are affected by poverty, drug and alcohol addiction, mental health stability, homelessness, mental retardation, youth, kids having kids, or combinations of some or all of the aforementioned. What I see is parents who do love their children but don't have the tools to properly raise and nurture them in this society today. And I see kids who are really bright and would have so much potential, but for their dire circumstances, which provide them little chance for hope or success, and as a result, they make poor choices. These children and their parents struggle every day, and some of them are just really existing instead of living life to its fullest and looking for goals. And I'm saddened by the fact that the public does not see what I see, and that sometimes society tends to look the other way. As a family court judge, I hear dependency cases, child welfare cases, delinquency cases, which are juveniles charged with committing crimes. I hear termination of parental rights and adoption cases, custody cases, protection from abuse, mental health commitments, and drug and alcohol commitments involving juveniles. As a juvenile and family court judge, I make decisions that forever affect the lives of children and families in my county. I remove children from their homes and communities and from the care of their parents and from everything that they know and maybe are comfortable or familiar with because they are in need of treatment in an out-of-home setting. I terminate parental rights and finalize adoptions. Though on occasion I make decisions that result in a child being tried as an adult rather than a juvenile. But with the help of many who work in the system, I am sometimes able to have parents reunify with their children, juveniles successfully complete their conditions of supervision and their cases are closed, and in some cases children have permanent and lasting relationships with adults. In Pennsylvania, we're fortunate to have many other options than secure incarceration for juvenile offenders, and we utilize residential programs for many of these offenders. And obviously the key is prevention and providing services and education for judges. And OJJDP helps with this. And to sum up, I would say judges in my position, we need to have adequate training. We're asked to be part social worker, part physician. We're supposed to understand developmental goals, behavioral issues, drug and alcohol addiction, psychological issues, the dynamics of sexual and physical abuse. And with this, we need training and we need collaboration and cooperation with others. And OJJDP helps with this in terms of the training. And I thank you for this opportunity to be heard today.